You want my name or something like that? Maybe you're from Morocco? Yeah, exactly. No, that accent don't sound Moroccan. That sounds real Persian. Like you from Iran.
He said that don't sound like a Moroccan accent. You sound Persian. Tariq Nasheed, my boy, he funny as hell, son. But yo, peace, Islam, Oshio. Yes, let's do this. Let's get into this truth. Let's get back into this. Let's set the record straight, right? I give all thanks and praises to the Most High, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Yahuwah, right? I thank Allah, the Most High, Yahuwah, for all the prophets. I give thanks for all the teachers that he sent and inspired. I give thanks for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I give thanks to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I give thanks to the great and wise supreme teacher, Malachi Z. York, right? Malcolm X. I give thanks. I give thanks to, to them all. All praises to the Most High, right? Let's get into this truth now, man. So the last video we were speaking about, and of course I'm gonna run through that again. You know what I'm saying? Because information and knowledge don't get old, no matter how many times you hear it. So I'm gonna run through that what we spoke about in the last video, previously to this one. From this one, this is part 2. We were speaking about the origins of the Caucasians. Safe to say, the Europeans. Safe to say, speaking about the Moors, the Nubians, which is us. So let's get back into it, right? So we're gonna recap and then move forward because I didn't have time that day. You know what I'm saying? My mom was getting her mammogram and all of that, man. So I actually find out if my mom has breast cancer on Thursday or not, whether she has it or not. Prayers, you know what I'm saying? Asking for prayers, please. But let's get into this truth, man. So when we were speaking about last time, we were speaking about us as being Moors. Us as Moors, right? We're the indigenous nation of every continent on this planet, right? We know this. There are offshoots, breeds in every race, such as the Celts. There are Nubian breeds of Celts, and then there are the mixed breeds of Celts, right? There are the Nubian original seed of Libyans, right? And then there is the pale Libyans. There are the European Moroccans. There are the Nubian original dark-skinned Moroccans, right? Those are the true Moroccans. Then there are the European Moroccans. There are the original dark-skinned Egyptians, and then there are the Greek Egyptians, right? There are the original dark-skinned Algerians, and then there are the pale Algerians. By Nubian, I mean Amor. The pale race, you know what I'm saying, impregnates his seed everywhere he can. He doesn't know his origin or where he came from. The pale man, the Caucasian, the European, the white man, right? He doesn't know where he came from. He doesn't have an origin. Why? Because he was grafted. Through what? Birth control. It shouldn't be a surprise, right? The Caucasian race, you know what I'm saying, they like to refer to themselves as Europeans, when the nationality, European is not even a nationality in actuality. In actuality, European is not a nationality, right? Um, so by that I mean when they are telling you of their origin, it always ends up with some type of mythology gods. Um, if I ask where did white people come from, for example, what half 99% of the people will say Europe, right? Um, we're in Europe, right? Um, from the cave, which is the meaning of the word Horite, which means cave dweller, right? So they were created in the caves, which I will explain later. The word Europe comes from the goddess Europa, right? And again, we're just running through this again. We ran through this in the last video, but yep. Um, Europa. So Europe comes from the word Europa, which was a goddess in mythology, right? So where's the origin? If you was to trace Europe back um, to a certain time, it doesn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? So Europe didn't even exist for but only so long ago. We got to understand that. So the place is Europe today. The place known as Europe today in ancient times was divided by two rivers, the Rhine River and the Dunby River, right? We understand this. We got to understand this. The south and west side of the frontier, which would be Portugal, Spain, Italy, and France, um, were civilized provinces of this empire. The north and east of the frontier were inhabited by the Caucasians, or safe to say, the barbarians, um, whom the civilized world didn't even have any knowledge of. If you look at any nationality of the European race, any one of them, you will find that there is no way to trace back their history at all. You won't be able to trace back their history, man. They don't have an origin or a nationality on this planet, period. So they have to make it up, basically. This is why it always goes back to mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any origin. We have to understand this. They don't know this, and some of them do, but most of them don't. Most pale people don't understand their origin because they don't have one, so they can't even tell you. Next time you see somebody white or European or pale or whatever, ask them their origin. Ask them where they're from. They'll always tell you, well, I'm just white. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so are you Irish? Oh, I'm a bit of everything. I'm just European. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So when you look up, even when you look up the word Europe or European, right? There is no meaning or word breakdown at all. For example, the continent of Europe itself was named after the Greek um, goddess Europa, like I just said. And Europa was a mortal princess. She was the daughter of Agnor or something like that. And Zeus, as he often did, fell in love with her and decided that he must have Europa. You know what I'm saying? Zeus was big dog, you know what I'm saying? So he basically the story is he changed himself into a white bull. Um and 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 lured basically he lured Europa onto his back. And it's crazy, man, because um a lot of people don't know this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know this. But anyway, that's where that comes from. I notice I said white bull, right? Um, notice it says that Zeus turned himself into a white bull to lure Europa, right? So this is why the white man calls himself white, or the white race, which is referring to the white bull. that we just spoke about, right? So, in actuality, the white race is not white because white is synonymous with what? Pure, right? And he is a degenerate gene, right? So this is his subliminal way of saying he is pure. And you being the opposite. And this is far from the truth. We know that the white man is not pure and he's not innocent, right? We know this. We know that he's the skunk of the planet Earth, right? Um, so they claim to be the Caucasian race, um, that they are from the Caucasus Mountains, right? Which is again a place, not a nationality or a race. They can't even lay claim on the word Caucasian. Um, yeah, they can't even lay claim to the word Caucasian, and don't want to once they actually find out what the word means. uh, According to the reference library dictionary, according to the dictionary of Caucasian means relating to or being a major human racial division traditionally distinguished by physical characteristics such as very light to brown skin pigmentation and straight to wavy or curly hair, and including peoples indigenous to Europe, North Africa, West Asia, and India. No longer in scientific use. So notice it said brown skin pigmentation, right? Yo, also notice that it said that it's no longer being in scientific use, man. Like who are they trying to like play with, man? Who are they trying to fool, right? Come on, man. Like I'm sure you can see why. In fact, when you look at the word Caucasian, you will find that it refers to the inhabitants of the Caucasus Mountains. Um, Caucasian, which is carcass, Asian. If you break the word down, that's what you will get. Caucasus, Asian, Caucasian. Come on, man. Come on, man. Caucasus, Asian, which means what? A deteriorating Asian. A caucus Asian is a deteriorating Asian because a caucus is a body that's deteriorating, right? We know that caucus is a deteriorating body that's dead. So if we break down the word Caucasian, we got the suffix at the end that says Asian, right? And then we got caucus. So the Caucasian together is a deteriorating Asian. These Asians are the Hindus, who are also known as the the Aryans, or the Aryans, um, meaning noble from the Sanskrit word, right? So the Hindu or Asian man is the same as the Caucasian man. They're the same. They're the same. So if you look at why Kamala Harris is even vice president, they're not tripping that she's black, that she's half black. She's not half black. Because if you understand the origin of the Hindus and the East Indians in that part of the world, those East Indians are Caucasians. They're they're the opposite of the Caucasians, but the same. Like, look, you gotta understand this. Um, they're the same. The East, so the Hindu or the Asian man is the same as the Caucasian man. And if you were to strip the color off from the Hindus or East Indians, you will get an albino Hindu or a deteriorating Asian, a Caucasian. Did you get that? So a Caucasian, they both have the same features and face structures. Like you gotta dig, man. So this is why Kamala Harris is even the fucking vice president, and why she has potential chances of being the president, because her mom is, yes, East Indian or Hindu, but at the same time, like like at the root of it, she's a Caucasian. She's white. She's the 180 version of a Caucasian, and then the 180 version of East Indian is a Caucasian, a Caucasus Asian, a deteriorating Asian, which is what a white man is. Everything about the white man is literally like it's like deterioration. It's like death. Even in the Bible, the white having white skin was considered being cursed. But you see how they flip it, and they say that Ham was cursed, and his son was cursed, and his kid and his descendants were cursed to being dark skinned, which is far from the truth. Canaan was cursed. And we all know who the Canaanites are. The true Canaanites are the white people. They were the cursed ones. That's why their skin is white, because white represented leprosy in the Bible and in the Old Testament and the New Testament and all of that. That like the white skin was like considered like that was leprosy, man. If you read the Old Testament and you read how Moshe, um, the Most High commanded him to put his hand into his bosom, into his throat, and then pull it out, and it become white. It was cursed. It was leprosy, and Moses was scared, and he said, "Put it back into you." And then he went back to brown, went to normal. That's how you know that these people were dark skinned. Because anyway, but let's not even go down that road. We're not going down that rabbit hole at all. But yeah, and then if you further read, I think it's in the book of Numbers where it was speaking about Miriam, the sister of Aaron and Moses, when she was cursed with leprosy, and she turned white as snow. So we understand that this white skin is a curse. You get what I'm saying? The white skin, like if you got that type of skin, you can't even sit in the sun long enough because you're gonna burn. You're gonna need sunscreen and all of this shit. Like it's an obvious fact. You just gotta pay attention and use your brain and use your reason, and you'll understand scripture and all of that. But we gotta understand these things, right? Because it's necessary. It's basically breaking down the origin of the people that's around you. The people that you think are superior to you, or the people that think that they're superior to you, their origin is weak. They don't even have a goddamn origin. They don't have a nationality. Their whole history is based off mythology, Roman mythology, and Greek mythology. So we got to understand this. Like, we're the original man on this planet. We're the original people of this planet. Every continent that you go to, the original people of that continent and that land are dark skinned. And that's just the way it is. It's not like we're trying to like downplay or make white people look bad, or the pale people look bad, or the Caucasians look bad. We're not trying to make them look like anything but what they are. And we're trying to give the correct image of us, because the image of us been tampered with. So that's what we're trying to do here. What I'm trying to do, my mission is that. It's to shed life on truth. This is the age of Aquarius. So I'm a truth seeker, for real. I seek truth and I teach truth, and then I spread the truth. And that's what I do. That's my life mission. That's what I was called to do. So I figured out the elixir of life is knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's infinite, and you will always continue to seek knowledge, even after this. Even after you die and this body is dead, you will always be seeking knowledge afterwards. That's what our spirits and souls is made to do, is to seek knowledge, is to keep seeking. And once we get enough knowledge, we head back to the source. But yeah, man. Yo, let's get back into this truth though, right? So, let's see. Okay, so let's continue about this Caucasians, right? So the Caucasian, the Caucasus Mountains is in between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, right? And I know you wouldn't want to identify with the word black, you white people. I know that. So if you take the Caspian Sea, right? The Caspian Sea and put it over the Tigris Euphrates River, it would fit perfectly. Straight like that. And the Caucasus Mountains would be overlaying the Phoenician Valley, which consists of Mount Seir, the mountain that the Horites inhabited. Phoenicia is also the land of Haran, where Lot went after his father died, as mentioned in Genesis 11:31. And Haran is also the name of Lot's father, which means mountaineer, right? So the land of Canaan is the land of Haran. And this is where the Caucasian people lived. But y'all don't know that. Y'all don't understand that. Y'all don't even want to know that. Like some of the children of Canaan inhabited mountainous regions because of the climate. But y'all don't. That's why the Caucasus Mountains. That's why white people are from there. Understand, use your brain. Some of the children of Canaan inhabited mountainous regions because of the climate. It was more suitable for their lack of pigmentation. So because their lack of pigmentation, they were seeking out like inhabited places in the mountains. You get what I'm saying? Because we were just speaking about the lack of pigmentation in their skin, because their skin is their curse. Because remember, Canaan was cursed. The true Canaanites are the Caucasians, man. We gotta understand this thing. We gotta understand this, man. They lived in Mount Seir, also called Mount Hor, or Mount Horite, where the Horites dwelt, which is a mountain dweller. Mount Seir is a range of mountains that covered much of Edom. Edom was the home of the Edomites. You get what I'm saying? So Edom is in present day southern Israel and Jordan. That's where Edom is at present day. It's southern Israel and Jordan, right? So the Amorite, meaning mountain dweller, is another tribe of Canaan that lived in the mountains. The Amorites lived in East Canaan and the west of Jordan, right? So if you look up the word nationality, you will see that they had if you look up the word nationality, you will see what they have doesn't fall within the meaning of the definition, man. Like these white folks, they don't have no origin. They have no nationality, man. I keep trying to tell y'all this, man. Like they don't belong to no particular origin, man. At all. The word nationality means, and I quote, it means the status of belonging to a particular nation by origin, birth, or naturalization. Naturalization, right? There is no continent where they can be found originally. They are the ones who conquered or took someone else's land and then exiled the indigenous inhabitants. That's their routine. This is why I call the Caucasians the skunk of the planet Earth, because everywhere they go, they seek to conquer and to divide and destroy, and then set themselves up in power and kick out or exile or even wipe out and kill off the indigenous people that inhabited the land that they just conquered. That's their pattern. That's the history. That's the origin of the Caucasians. It's conquering. Like just literally like just straight demons, man. They're the skunk of the earth, man. And then the Dutch who came into South Africa, man. And generations of them were born there, eventually calling themselves Africans. Like how? How? Like, do you see the pattern? And South Africa is a great example to use because it just don't look right. How are you guys Dutch from Europe conquered a part of South Africa, and now because y'all been there for generations, and we do know that the definition of nationality is belonging or being naturalization or by birth. So because they were there by birth for generations, they consider themselves Africans. Just like this, just like the English settlers coming, to the Americas, right? The English settlers, the immigrants that came from Europe to America, because they've been here all this time. Now you have all of these Englishmen claiming that they're Americans. Like, no, you're not an American. You're still what you are. If you came from let's just say a European country. If you came from Ireland and then you've been in America, I hate to use Irish as an example because I know some things about Irish I'm going to share visually later on another video, man. But I'm gonna use them anyway. Polish. Fuck it. Let's use Polish. If you from Poland, you came to Poland. You came from Poland to the Americas, and then you've been here for about 200, 300 years. Three generations, and then 300 fucking years. So that's what, 3 centuries, and then your descendants is calling themselves Americans. No, they're not Americans. They're still Polish, right? Like, we gotta think about this, man. Like, so it's the same thing if we was to say, like, these white people, these Caucasians, these Dutch people that are in South Africa and they're claiming themselves to be Africans, makes no sense. Afrikaners, like, I just don't get that. It don't even look right. Caucasians in Africa calling themselves Africans, it just doesn't make sense. Like, where they are not even accepted in Africa as a people. Ask yourself this: how can they set up apartheid in a country where the indigenous and the indigenous people of that land and still is today is the majority of that land, of the population of that land? Like, how? How can they set up apartheid in a country where the indigenous people is still the majority? They're still Moors. If they wanted to be separated, they should have stayed in the continent that they claim to be theirs in the fucking first place. Like, make it make sense. How can you set up apartheid in a country where the indigenous people of that land is still the majority? Still the majority today. Like, if you wanted to be separated, man, why didn't you stay in the continent where you was at? Why didn't you stay in your homeland? Why didn't you stay in Europe? Like, it makes no sense. They're just the skunks of the universe, man. They're the skunk of the universe. They're the skunk of the planet Earth, I meant. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like, and then, like, the European pale race are like a bump. And that's why Mother Nature is trying to get rid of them. and even in Australia, the Aborigines are rising up against them, trying to take their land back, man. Even the Australians is doing this right now, and the Aborigines in Australia are trying to get their land back from the skunk of the earth, from the Caucasians, the pale race, man. Like, it's ridiculous, man. But this is the age of Aquarius, man, and everything is coming to light, man. They want to claim the rights to their land, England. Like, how can you claim the right to somebody else's fucking land? It makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. England sent their criminals, which were the Dutch and the Irish. Remember I said I was going to speak about the Irish. That's where English sent most of their criminals. They sent most of their criminals to Australia, which was the Dutch and the Irish, to Australia. They are the ones that commit most of the crimes in Australia. It's the Irish and the Dutch. Ain't that crazy? Wow. Now they are beating up the Aborigines who are rightfully trying to take back what is theirs. The Pale Man is never given any type of naturalization rights from any government of any country, so they don't have any nationality, any biblical any biblical word that is used to refer to them, such as the Amorite, Caucasian, Horite, Hittite, is a mountainous place. They don't belong to a particular nation. They weren't born anywhere because they were an artificially created being, not even a human being. Remember what I was saying? They were grafted. How? By birth control. They are artificial beings, not even human beings. So by the previous definition, they are a race without a nationality. Whenever they trace their history to Greece, they always go back to mythology. The, the European history begins in Greece, sometimes between 1200 and 800 BC. These approximate dates by no means mark the beginning of human civilization in Europe at all. At all, yo. Um, um, where various cultures had arisen during the millennia of what I'm in pain. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, neither of these cultures nor the adjacent civilizations of Egypt and the Near East influenced European development to the extent that Greek civilization did. So we got to understand that part too. The early Greeks were among thousands of shit. Let me spark. I know I'm talking about a lot, man. This shit is deep. It's deep, and this is just stuff that we gotta know. We can't keep being lazy, man. There's some stuff that we gotta know, man. The early Greeks were among thousands of Indo-Europeans who swarmed into Western Europe from Central Asia, right? So beginning after 1200 BC, the nomadic Dorians settled in the mountainous um, peninsula of Greece and its offshore islands. They developed a wide variety of new ways of living from the sea and by trade. The Dorians were one of the Hellenic people that invaded Greece around 1100 BC and remained culturally and linguistically distant within the Greek world. So the word Dorian is from the Latin Doranus, from Darius, from Greek Dorios, Doris. So that's like the breakdown of the Dorian people, right? So now if you look in the dictionary under Greece, you got the meaning Hellas or Elas. So all of that ties in together. All of those words is tied in together and have like basically the same meaning. Like it's deep, man. Like if you go into all of that, right? So it's deep, man. Even if you speak about Rome, even like how Rome got its name from Romulus and the Romans when they were suckling on a fucking she wolf, when they were raised by a she wolf. This is why they say that. This is why white people say that dogs are man best friend. No, dogs isn't man best friend. God is man best friend. But remember, they're artificially intelligent they're artificial beings, man. They're not human beings. They're artificial beings. They're mankind, kind of a man, not the original man. So the things that they do is going to be a lot different than what we do. And it's going to be it's going to be considered taboo, the things that they do when we see them do the things that they do. Like when they be licking dogs in their face and they let the dogs lick them in their mouths and all of that. Like, yeah, you know what time it is, man. Like, they ain't what we are, man. You know what I'm saying? At all, man. But I do want to get into something else, man. But I'm gonna leave this here because I like to keep things organized, right? So I'm gonna close this chapter when we're speaking about the Caucasians. We know about the Caucasians now. We know about the pale race, the white people. We know that the Caucasian, the breakdown of that word is the Caucasus Asian, which is a deteriorating Asian, right? So we know all of this. We know the breakdown. I'm gonna get into my next video. I'm going live in about 10-15 minutes after I smoke this, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, Islam. We're gonna talk about religion. We're gonna talk about faith. We're gonna get into this, man. Cause I wanna get out. I got some work for people, bro. Right? I got it. I got smoke. And I want all the smoke with everybody, man. So yeah, man, this is gonna be real. This next video, but thanks y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Anybody if y'all didn't catch this video while I was live, I was gonna be posted. So thank y'all. My next video, I'm gonna be going live in about 10-15 minutes. I'm closing this video down though, because I just wanted to finish off what I had started in that last video. So this was part 2 of that video. I'm starting a new video in about 15 minutes again. Thank y'all for watching. Oshio, peace, Islam, man. All praises due to the Most High.